Hey guys, it's Chris with Double Eagle Gunworks, and we're out here on the range today, and we're going to be doing part 3 of the video on our ammunition, and we're going to be talking about shotgun ammunition today. And shotgun ammunition, there is a lot of different variables that go into shotgun ammunition. It's similar to what rifle and handgun ammunition are. In that you have a case, you've got the head, but the shape of the cartridges is totally different than what you would find in either rifle or handgun ammunition. The shotgun ammunition is a centerfire cartridge, and if you look at the head of the case here, it is a rimmed case, so that when you drop it down into the barrel of the shotgun, it catches on the rim. So it is similar to handgun ammunition, or to revolver ammunition rather, in that respect. But as far as the shape of the cartridge and the fact that most shotgun ammunition has a plastic shell on it rather than a full brass or steel case on it, then it's a good bit of difference in here. And the way the ammunition is put together is also different. Instead of just having the primer, the powder, and then your bullet in there, depending on what the shotgun ammunition is, there's going to be the primer, there's going to be powder, there's going to be a carrier in there that would hold the shot in. You got the shot, and then you'd have the crimp on the end to hold everything together. So your shotgun ammunition is built a little bit differently than your rifle or your handgun ammunition, and there's a lot more variables that go into the shotgun. So what we've got a fairly wide range of cartridges here for a shotgun. Everything that you see on the table is for a 12 gauge shotgun, so they're all the same caliber, but the makeup of the cartridge is different. We'll start down here with this is a Sabo slug for a shotgun. So instead of having a bunch of little pellets in here that's held by the carrier that gets blown out the end when the shell is fired, it's got a solid slug inside the case, and it doesn't have a crimp on the end either to hold everything in place. You can see the slug there on the end of the hull, and these would be designed to be used in a slug barrel in your shotgun. And typically a shotgun barrel would normally be just a smooth bore barrel, but if you have a slug barrel in there, then it's going to be actually have a rifling in it, so that when the slug is fired, it's more like a bullet, and it imparts spin onto the slug as it's going out the end of the barrel, so that it stabilizes the round as it's going out the end of the barrel. Where your typical shotgun ammunition has all the little pellets in it, and you don't need the rifling in it, because those little pellets that are coming out the end of the barrel are not the same size as the barrel is, like on a rifle or a handgun. But if it is a slug, then it would need rifling. The exception to that would be the rifled slug, like this one, that's made for a smooth bore barrel. And this one, the actual slug inside the hull has rifling on it, so as it's exiting the barrel, it imparts spin on itself by using the rifling that's on the side of the slug as it's going out. So this one is designed to be used in your regular smooth bore shotguns rather than a specific slug barrel like the other one is. And this one, the first one that we talked about, this one is a 2 3/4 inch hull. Everything that you see here down to the orange one here are all 2 3/4 inch shells. This one, the slug that's in here, this is a 546 grain slug in the blue one here. So if you remember, or you watched the video on the handgun ammunition, the heaviest weight bullet that we talked about for the handgun ammunition was for a 45 caliber, and it was only a 230 grain bullet. So this one is more than double the size of a 45 caliber bullet. The rifle slug here, it's a 1 ounce slug. It doesn't give it to you in grains, but it gives it to you in ounces. Typically, instead of grain weight on shotgun ammunition, it's going to tell you the weight of the shot or the slug in ounces rather than grains on most ammunition. So that's the 2 slugs that we've got. This one is a hybrid type shell here. This one has got it's a 1 ounce rifle slug on the inside, and also it's got some plated double-aught buckshot in here. So it's got probably 3 or 4 pellets of buckshot along with the slug. So this one is going to have 1 big hole and 3 or 4 little smaller holes when you shoot something with this one. But it's still 2 3/4, and velocity on that one is going to be like 1150 feet per second. So it's still moving pretty good, about the same speed as a 9mm bullet would be, but it's a lot bigger around than a 9mm. Now this next one is a buckshot round. This one is a I think it's a double-aught buckshot. No, it's actually yeah, it's double-aught buckshot, and it's got 8 pellets on the inside of it. But this one is a managed recoil round, so it's got a little bit less powder in it than a typical buckshot would have. So it's not going to have quite the recoil that your normal double-aught buckshot would have if you were firing it out of the same 2 3/4 inch hull. Now, this next one, this is a standard buckshot here, and this is a clear hull on this one, so you can see the buckshot in there, and we'll do a close-up of this so that you can see that. But we've got the balls that you can see on the inside of it, and then you see the carrier in there that's holding all the buckshot in, and then the powder is down below that, kind of into the brass part of the hull here. But this is 12 gauge double-aught buckshot, so it's going to have I think it looks like probably about 10 or 12 double-aught buck rounds in there. And then the next one going up is more for sporting clays, for folks that like to go out and do that. This one has got number 8 shot in it, which is a smaller pellet than what you would have in double-aught buckshot, but it has a lot more of the pellets inside the same size hull that the buckshot is in. And this one has 1 1/8 ounce of number 8 shot in here, and then it's crimped on the end to hold everything together. And then the next one down, this one is it's got number 6 shot in it, and it's 1 ounce of number 6, so there's going to be a lot more pellets in this one than even there would be in the number 8 shot here. And this one would be used as a dove load, so it's going to take out the small birds like doves, so you don't want to use a real big pellet when you're shooting the smaller birds, because it's going to damage the animal too much, and doves don't have a whole lot of meat on them anyway, so you don't want to blow too much of it off when you shoot them with a too big of a shot. And then the last one that we got out here, this one is a 3 1/2 inch hull, and you can see that extra 3/4 of an inch really makes a big difference on there, and it also makes a big difference when you're shooting that particular round. That one's got a 1 3/8 ounce of BB shot, and the BBs are the size of what you would normally find in a BB gun, but it's a lot smaller than the double-aught buckshot. But there's a 1 3/8 ounce of BB shot in the shotgun. So, and with a 3.5 inch Magnum round, it's going to have significantly more kick than your 2 3/4 round, whether it be a slug, the buckshot, or number 6 dove shot. So the longer cases with the extra powder in there going to generate a lot more power, a lot more recoil when you're shooting the shotgun. So got all the different cases and everything out here, and that's the basics of the shotgun ammunition. What you use depends on the application that you're going for. If you're wanting to hunt deer or something like that, you could use the slugs. That would work for that type hunting. Your self-defense rounds, probably your buckshot, or some people will use a smaller shot so that it doesn't penetrate quite as much. But there's all the different rounds. You've got a lot of different applications that you can use. A lot of people would use a slug round also for home defense, but in a smaller barrel, shorter barrel shotgun, so that you don't have as much to carry around when you're trying to go through your house with it. All the way up to the big ones here. The big 3.5 inch ones used for like duck and geese, something like that. The bigger birds when the guys go out bird hunting. Okay guys, when you're trying to match up the ammunition to the shotgun, it's got all the information that you need right here on the box, telling you what you're looking for. It's got the gauge of the shotgun here, so it's going to be 12 gauge, 16 gauge, 410, 20 gauge, 28 gauge. Just make sure that number matches up to what's imprinted on the barrel. The next one tells you the length of the case. So this one's a 2 3/4, and you have to make sure that the length of the cartridge matches the length of the chamber in your shotgun. Some shotguns will accept 2 3/4, 3, and 3.5 inch shells. Others will just be a 2 3/4. So make sure that this number matches up to what your shotgun says it will accept in the chamber. And then you've got the weight of the shot here. It's a 1 1/8 ounce of number 8 shot, and the size of the shot that you want is going to be determined by what you're using it for. Like this one is designed to be used for sporting clays, so the number 8 is a good size shot for sporting clays. But if you're using, or you're going to be hunting dove or some type of small bird, then you probably want to go with a smaller shot. If you're hunting bigger animals or bigger birds, then you're going to be going for the bigger size shot in there, or either buckshot or maybe even a slug, depending on what you're wanting to shoot. But always make sure that the caliber and the length of the hull matches what your gun says it is. So that's our shotgun wrap up there. I hope you liked the video. If you did, like and subscribe down at the bottom, and check out the links in the description below. We'll have links to the part 1 and part 2 of the videos talking about handgun ammunition as well as rifle ammunition. So like and subscribe down at the bottom. Check out our website, doubleeaglegunworks.com, for a lot more blogs and a lot more information on gun topics. Hope to see you next time.